Yo, what's good guys, but I'm Fire here, back with another video, and today we're going to be hopping into our first college football 25 video for you guys, and it's going to be what my favorite offense will be to begin college football 25. Now, of course, metas are subject to change, so we could see some changes, but just as a good video, just a good offense to start out the game with, pretty basic knowledge, something simple that you guys can run and have success with against your friends, run your first game or something like that. We're going to be going over a gun bunch offense. This is out of the Georgia offensive playbook, so it is going to be one of the more popular teams, but Georgia playbook. Now, there's a lot of creativity in the game. If you guys have offenses that you like, let me know down below. I will definitely try and check them out, but as far as this bunch, it is going to be pretty solid here. So we have a lot of cool plays, some plays from like past Maddens that are kind of coming back here. So immediately we have a bunch trail on the left that I like a lot. Flood, definitely going to be a solid play. You have bench pivot, that's a good play as well. You have your Z spot and go. You have cross, which is always decent. Dig return on the left there. Good red zone play. Deep attack. Solid bunch. Sail, which if you guys remember from Madden 18, Pat Sail. Money play there. And corner strike. So for my audibles, what we're going to have is going to be something pretty simple. We are going to just have bunch, trail, base, deep attack, and corner strike. Now, of course, replace one of those with something that you like a little bit better. Feel free to do that. But we're just going to go through a few setups for every play. Again, we're not going to get too crazy complicated. We're going to keep things relatively simple, but we are going to go ahead and go over some of our favorite plays. So we are going to start out with Flood. That is a solid play here. And now, one thing that is definitely different, obviously, about college football versus regular football is going to be the hash marks. They are fairly much so exaggerated, so you want to be careful with the way that you play the game with the hash marks. So what you want to do is, obviously being on the hash marks is going to be a big part of it. So you want to run your offense based on which hash mark you're on. So starting out, we have a play like Flood. You want to kind of keep things simple, and I like to just run a setup like this. Put your running back on a little baby out route and check it down to him. Now, one of the more simple concepts that you'll see probably in college football is going to be hitting your playmakers. There's a lot of control with the stick work this year. You want to get the ball to your best players in open space and let them do stuff with it. So just checking down is not a bad option. Hitting the flats, you want to kind of hit the flats, force your opponent to maybe play underneath a little bit and then go deeper over the top. So just a solid play, going with a little out route there. You can also throw him on the wheel routes with the running back there. One of the better concepts with the running back is just snapping the ball, throwing it to him immediately, letting him go to work. So that is going to be setup number one. Another setup I like out of this play would be to maybe block your running back, throw B on a little hitch or something. So this can be a solid little setup. Just gives you a nice little option there. In the middle of the field, you can check it down to him, and that's a solid little combo there. Now, of course, with this first setup, you had the out route. It doesn't really get super open. It's going to be a difficult throw, so you want to be careful in doing that. Now, depending on the coverage, it can get open. It can be good against man coverage. If you'd like, you can also motion this receiver out, and what this could do is open up either A, significantly, or it will open up RB, depending on if it's a cover 2 or a cover 3. Again, against man coverage, it is going to be reliable. Now you have X on this in route. Now, the linebackers are going to play that pretty well, so depending on if he's using one of those linebackers, that's where it can open up. If not, I would probably stay away from it in the middle of the field if there's going to be mid-read or hook curl zones. So some other concepts out of Flood that I like are going to be, I like a little zig route with him. You could go with like a drag with the tight end, a little backside out to the right with running back, or you could leave him on his little hook. So we'll reset it, but you could go like drag with A and zig with B, something like this. Solid little setup there. Now you notice that's going to bring down the flat zone a lot more versus like the streak in the flat combo where the flats were playing super deep. This opens up RB potentially on something like that if you can really time it right. Anyways, with Flood, I don't really have much for you out of that play. Let's go into some of the other plays that I liked better, which are going to be Bunch Trail. Now, I would say your concept to start the year, seeing it with me, is going to be attack the middle of the field rather than the outside. The outside, there's not a lot doing, especially with these corner routes. They tend to get played pretty well. Now, can you hit them? Yes, but you see there's just not a lot of space there, and we're pretty far on the left hash in this case. They play the corner routes well this year, so corner routes are going to be more of a distraction. They can get open against man coverage, but against zone, they're not going to be your best friend. So with a play like Bunch Trail, you kind of just want to give yourself a few quick options. What I like to do is smart out X, maybe throw Y on a little baby wheel, and then you have a few options. So with X, boom, you can hit him in the middle of the field there. He's going to be money. These post routes are going to be really good. You want to take advantage of them all the time. So I like that concept a lot. Again, I like these middle of the field concepts, and I like seam routes with the tight ends or slot receivers. Something like that can be solid. So again, you could go with like a little swing route. You can also put the running back going in the opposite direction if you want. You go drag with B. This gives you a lot of concepts in the middle of the field. Now again, if you're getting pressured like this, you want to block your running back, and that would be fine. So let's say we block our running back, we go B on a manual drag, then we have B, A, or we could hit X again over the top. So this is going to give us options. Now, apparently the offensive line isn't blocking. That's a great sign. But again, solid options. This could be a nice quick snap play as well. You could leave the running back on this little check and release and just snap the ball. So boom, tight end gets wide open. You either throw it to the drag or the tight end. The user's going to defend one. You throw it to the other. Pretty simple stuff there. Again, as far as the corner route being an option, could you throw it? Potentially. You could go a little streak combo with the corner route. Now again, it doesn't really get super open. If you can thread the needle, it can. With a good click on though, that's still almost a risky pass. So you still want to be very careful when you're throwing that. Some other concepts I like out of this are going to be, again, you go with B on a little zig route. With the running back, you could leave him on this little swing. You could go out route to that side. You could go out route to the left. So I would go with something like this. Boom. You can hit B here. Now, they got rubbed against each other. Pause. He would have been open, I think, as everybody saw. So I'll run that play one more time, and then we will hop into our next play because we want to get through these decently quick. So you saw we had Y open. We might have had RB open late. We had X open. I didn't let any of them rip because I was trying to hit the zig route, but there were options there. Now, as far as other ways to open up this post route, you could go with streak over here. This could be an option to potentially open things up, especially late. If you can get him to go across, maybe I should have smart outed that. Maybe I should have been on a different hash. You can see how things could get interesting with a setup like that. So let's try that setup from a little bit further. See if we can get it going, because I know you guys kind of saw the vision that I had there with the cover 3 beater. So we'll try that one more time, but that is a good idea. This is something that worked in Madden for many years. So I would smart out X, I would streak B. You could block your running back over here. Obviously your blocks are going to have to hold up, but you can kind of see there how he could be open late. I'm going to try and get this setup to work one more time. I might slide and double team, see if we can get open. Maybe I should have just picked a worse team so you guys could see these plays to play against. Boom. There you see an option as a cover 3 beater, and that is a easy pitch and catch against cover 3. So it's actually better to be on that right side because it gives you a little bit more space. You're throwing to the right side of the field versus throwing to the left or the middle, and the safety has a better chance to make a play on that ball. So solid play there. Now moving on to our next play, we have deep attack here. With deep attack, again, take a look. You got Bell over here. You're going to want to take advantage of him. So I like incorporating some motion in this play a lot. You could go with a few different guys. I like this little concept. It's a little very simple. Curl flat over here on the left. So you put B on a curl, you put A on a flat, and then you motion over your slot receiver on a zig. You could do this vice versa, but easy concept here. This really opens up the middle of the field. He dropped the ball there, but overall, simple concept. And again, you could run this from either side of the field. I kind of like being on the short side, I would say. So I would probably do that. Now you notice you have the tight end on this little curl, so you could keep him on the curl. Maybe you throw B on the other route. So you have options here. Again, with the running back, you could even throw him on like a little baby curl himself. So if you wanted to, you could go with him on a curl. You could go with him on an out route. You could go with him on a angle route. So you have just a lot of options overall. And the depth of these doesn't necessarily get messed up because the angle route in the posts, you can't defend them both with the user. So this is a good setup. Obviously, we're kind of going with the more max protection look, but either option's good. So again, you can motion him across. You could motion snap him. Actually, I guess, I don't know if there's motion snapping, but he gets good. He's really good against man coverage. So I would use him more against man, but against zone, you see how he holds the mid read and the outside zone? That's going to be a go-to. So it gives you options. Again, if you want to take advantage of other concepts in this using motion, you could go with like a backside drag, maybe a streak, and then you could still leave B on a curl over here. You could throw the running back on a little out route. Again, I like blocking just to get me some extra protection, but you can see how you have space in the flat over there. The curl is going to hold zones. Again, the backside drag would have been open, so definitely some solid options there. I'll show that setup one more time. Go drag. You'll go, again, you could go angle route here as well. So you could go backside streak, maybe go B on a flat still. You could leave the streak over here and attack the seam. Like so. Again, he's also going to hold all those zones over on the right, so you could do that. I don't know why you didn't catch the ball, but you guys, it's a decent setup. If you want, you can also put him in the flat. Doing something like this is not a bad idea at all. Maybe you motion over him, maybe you put him on a backside drag. So these are just different ways to open things up. In this case, you could also block the tight end once you motion him over. You could leave B on a curl over here, but just giving yourself a few options. It's just a solid play there. So let's move on. We have corner strike here. Now with corner strike, you want to kind of take advantage of this corner out if you're at all possible. Now against cover 3, it's not going to be great. You can hit him there, but on the short side, it's tough. There's not a lot of room. You have to be very cautious of what you're doing. If you can time it right, you see how you could have had a space on the last one. Now you see you don't. So we're going to respot the ball, and I might also switch coverages to a cover 2 because against cover 3, it's not really going to work, especially from the wide side of the field. You're not really going to have much doing. This outside third is going to play it probably pretty dang good. So you see the flat is kind of who you'd want to hit. If you can pass these to the right, maybe, but even then a good click on with that corner, and it's a difficult thing. So we're going to change it to a cover 2, and this is where you would see it work a little bit better. So here we go against Tampa 2. This is where you're going to be able to see B get wide open over there, and that be a big play. So if anybody's ever running cover 2, this is where your corner routes are going to come in handy. Against cover 3, those outside thirds play very well. Of course, those outside quarters, if it's a cover 4, play even better. So do not go corner out heavy against those. Over here on the left side, you're going to probably just check it down to your running back on the short side of the field because the cloud flat probably will be able to make a play on that. Also, if it was in a soft spot, it would be able to make a play on it. Additionally, you have the tight end over here. So again, you can hit the tight ends. These are 7-yard gains. If you have an agile tight end, you can catch it in the flat, make someone miss. Same with the running back. If you have a good running back, use him very heavily. Some other concepts that you could do with this corner strike are, you could go with a little out route bench concept over here. You motion over a streak. This can help open up X over here. Now, this is more of a play I would run if I was like in the middle of the field versus being so heavily on the left hash. So if I was a little bit closer here, this is an opportunity where, and again, the rest of our plays have been post heavy. So now you have this guy on a corner out. It's not really going to be something that the opponent should be expecting. Now, if you're trying to distract the user, you could go seam up the middle. This would be a good concept. Just double seams, make the user defend one of those. Then you have your corner outs. Or you could go baby curl. You could go in route. So you have options to kind of distract him. Hang in the pocket, fire it to the sideline. That's a money. And again, people are expecting corner outs on this side with this receiver. These receivers, you throw it on the left, it's going to catch him off guard a bit. So that is a solid corner strike setup right there. Again, you could also come back with the angle route. Maybe you go backside drag. So you have drag, flat, angle route. This gives you many options. Now this would be something that you run. Maybe you snap the ball. You see that he's in cover 3, not cover 2. He disguised it well. This is a very good setup. You can set it up very quickly as well. These are quick hot routes. You check it down to the flats. You make someone miss. You can pick up big gains of yardage. And again, you chip underneath. It's going to open up some of your bigger post plays over the top. So this would be one of my go-to setups. Just simple, easy. Again, you're going to need a little bit of time for those to develop. The user's going to have to make a decision. More times than not, he's going to go angle route. You're going to hit the drag route a little bit later. That's the reality. But again, if he defends those both very well, then you can easily just check it down over here, hit him. This play would still work against man coverage as well, because he's still going to have to just choose who he's defending. Both routes will beat man coverage. And if he's going heavy man coverage, you could just throw the tight end on our route. That's going to be an even better man-beating route, and it's going to run slower as well for zone coverage. So corner strike, very solid play, and that is exactly why you would want to have it in your audibles. Now again, as far as runs, if you're running gun bunch, you're not really going to want to run the ball a whole lot. I'll talk about it, but you're not going to run the ball much. So let's set up our few next audibles. The first one that we're going to go to is going to be, you could go smash return or bench pivot. I like bench pivot a little bit better. We're going to replace this with bunch sail, and we're going to replace you with dig return. The play I will come out in will be Z spot and go, and we'll go back to our cover 3. So with Z spot and go, I like a few concepts. You could go with, I like motioning this guy out, and he kind of sits in that solid spot of the zone. Also, I probably threw it late there. You could throw it definitely earlier. So you kind of want to motion snap him over here. You throw it right here. He sits in a solid spot. Now that is a very timing route. I wouldn't mess around with something like that. So you kind of want to be very careful with something like that. As far as other Z-spot concepts, I like something like this. You want to take advantage of the super deep route, you could. So the corner out, you see we have space over there. Not a good pass lead from us, but we do have some space to operate over there, which you definitely like. As far as some other things, maybe you could go backside slant. This is a concept that I definitely don't hate at all. Another thing you could do is zig. So you could go zig, backside drag maybe. The zigs are different, but you could go something like this. I don't hate. Maybe backside angle route. This setup would probably be nails. And again, I like these angle routes heavy because you can use them at all times. You want to take advantage of those angle routes. You could just even go with a simple out route over here. These corner outs, they're really distraction. They really try to pull up the zones. You're going to want to hit underneath heavy. So, like, trying to fit this pass in, you could. We were able to there, but it's just difficult. You need a good quarterback. You need a good receiver. It's a challenging thing to do. So, definitely want to be careful with something like that. Other than that, I don't have many other setups for like a Z spot. Here we have bench pivot. This is a good play to try and hit this tight end. It is a timing route. but you can kind of pass lead him upfield like so. I would probably almost pass lead him inside as well, which we didn't particularly do there. I would like this concept probably more on the short side like we have it at the moment. You could hit this guy early. A lot of these are going to be quick snap based. You saw like we have the bunch trail, we have the flood, we have lots of setups that are designed to just get the ball out quickly, just snap the ball quickly. There you see a nice pass lead inside. So they're designed for that. If you want to do something with the running back, I would go little flat route here, solid. You could go wheel route, of course. It's just, you could go angle route always. I never hate the angle route in this offense at all, because you can just do that. You can hit him for 5 yards. You could juke and you can turn it into a 7 to 10 yard gain. So I don't hate those at all. As far as base goes, it's solid. I don't love running the ball, but it is solid this year. It's a lot of fun if you can get in the open field, make someone miss. This isn't really a running offense. And if you're using a team like Georgia, you're not really going to run the ball with your quarterback. It depends on just the team that you like using, but you can get really creative with some of the stick work. I probably will drop a stick work video, so stay tuned for that. There's not a whole lot to say about base, but you can get creative with it. You see how just dangerous the juke moves can be. Now, we're just kind of running a simple bunch. As far as getting more advanced, you could, but we're really just keeping everybody in positions, doing some simple stuff. Now, as far as doing something like this play, you could get kind of creative with it. I like to run it a little bit more simple, maybe like a drag. You could go with this cross. You could go with probably just a backside slant, motion him out. That was a terrible pass lead, but that's an idea of what you could do with this bunch sail. Again, you want to hit B. You want to use him heavily. I don't like this corner out over here on the left, so I would go with this little streak concept potentially. Again, you can hit him. Timing is important on that pass. Be careful not to get lurked by the user. A lot of times the user follows it, you check it down to the drag, or you just go like maybe backside in route even over here. With RB, if you really wanted to thread the needle, you could. I would go maybe with a higher, taller receiver if you're trying to hit that route consistently, but it's an option, yes. If you want, you could even go with curl flat over here. You could go, once again, what could you do? You could do backside angle route. I don't ever hate doing backside angle route. Now the curl may not be your best friend there, so you could almost go corner out if you actually wanted to get bunch trail-esque. So maybe you go corner out. So you go corner, you could go drag, you could go angle, boom. Solid setup here. And again, get him to play underneath, then you start attacking up top. But overall, that's really going to do it for the video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you hit a big thumbs up. Let me know which videos you guys want to see trying to get back in the swing of things. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. It is definitely appreciated, and peace. I'm out of here.